name is Prince Prosper. I'm one of the founders of FixChap. FixChap is a web and mobile app which connects homeowners and office owners with fixers or handymen, or we call them fundis as well here. What we're trying to do is we are bringing convenience to households and offices for them to source well-vetted and trusted servicemen or fixers who are near their location. And we have added a feature of standard pricing that can also help to the homeowners to know the pricing system, and we're giving 3 weeks assurance to every task done, and customers can also rate and comment after the service. So I'm 29 years old. I finished my bachelor's degree in Zumbe University in Morogoro. I did a degree in business administration, major in marketing management. After I finished that, I worked first as a sales executive with a company called Creative in the traders. What they do is they sell consumable products such as liquid soap and detergents. So I worked as a sales executive for about 2.5 years or 3, and then I was promoted to a brand manager where I managed a detergent brand or liquid soap brand. So that was my last position career-wise. And during my placement as a brand manager, that is when I came about with the idea of FixChap and building a platform for fundi and customers. And on late 2018, that's when I took a leap of faith and moved 100% or full-time to FixChap. So you can see that I started FixChap while I was still employed. Why did I do that? Because you have to test the waters before you jump in. So I wanted to see, like, is this something I can I can do that can sustain me? So early days are always tough. You need to bootstrap. You need to get to see how you can sustain yourself. That's why in 2018 we started the company, but I was still employed. It was tough, but we had to juggle things up. Then when we saw this thing is getting serious, some of us had to jump off it. That's how it was. I can trace back to 2016 when I was trying to find an apartment in Ghana. It's quite a cumbersome process to find an apartment and to move in. When you're moving from one apartment to another, there's basically some fixings to do. So I was moving from my apartment to a new one, and I had to source, these fundis. So I really got a difficult time, and I remember my sink got spoiled because of hiring just a random person, and he didn't have the skill sets, So I was really disappointed, and I am the person who is driven with, problem solving. So I sat down and wrote in my diary, like, this issue of fixing or fundi, how can we solve it? So I started off researching and sharing with my close friends and seeing how exactly we can come about with a solution. That was 2016. So we started off thinking of different models and brainstorming until late 2017. That this brings me to the concept of how I came about with my team. Teams, basically you find your teammates when you're actually working on your idea, when you're working on your innovation. I would talk to, of course, trusted people, my close friends. I would tell them, like, hey, I'm trying to solve this thing. What do you think? When that person has the same calling as you, they will, that idea and that concept will keep rotating in their minds. So these people I'm working with are the people who would call me in a random day and, hey, Prince, I figured that problem you spoke about, why can't we do this? Why can't we do this? So at the end of the day, you have such a close group of people who are actually passionate about solving the same problem. So when we got further into debating and starting off doing some research, that's when we decided, hey, why don't we contribute together and start off this company? And that's how we started off. Yeah. So the company started in 2018, or the app started in 2018. And we basically kicked off with a website. Why a website? Because This is a new concept, and whenever you're starting something new, you have to do some research and testing. So we kicked off with a website, just a web portal where customers could register or sign up and send in requests, just to see first if people are interested in such kind of a solution, and to see whether or not people would really want an app, because then building an app is a different it's a different kind of investment. So we did this for about 7 months, operating through the website, and we saw some really good traction or usage rate in terms of customers were actually referring to one another, sending the website link, and people were using our services. And most of the feedback was that we should build an app, because an application brings more convenience, and it's basically easy to use through the app instead of just going to the website. So after these 7 months and gathering the data, not only on the way people want to use the service, but also some key issues that we looked were around the pricing model, the overall concept and the business process. So after navigating and understanding these key things, that's when we went on and built an app. And basically our mobile application is leverage on one key thing, which is ease of use. We understood that people do not want a complex thing, and basically what we've built is that in just a 3 clicks process, a user is able to send in a job request and get connected to a fixer who is nearby the location. It's fair to say that we have been growing very steadily, fairly, because when we started through the website, we kicked off initially with only 30 handymen or fixers, and on the first year we got about 400 customers. But as I speak at the moment, we have about 280 fixers or fundis who are registered on the platform, and we have served more than 9,000 customers up to date. Having this kind of traction in 2 years doesn't mean that the solution is already market fit. This only shows that there are a couple of people who are already loving what we're doing. And I would owe our success first to our amazing team. We are a team of 4 with different complementing skill sets. And you know, when you're an early stage company or startup, in the beginning, you don't really have enough revenue or, so to speak, capital to leverage upon. But what we leveraged on was our complementing skill sets to get the job done. So the first thing I would really acknowledge is the team effort that we have put in together to get as far as we are now. The second thing I would owe our success to is our willingness to understand the market. You know, a lot of people start off businesses and new concepts just from their own thinking. But if you want your innovation or your new product to really be a success, you need to kick off with your customers in mind. And that's what we basically did. We didn't just come up with the application and just figure out the process on our own. What we did, we gave the customers just a blueprint of what we are thinking of, and they helped us to build what we have now. And when you build for people, it means they're going to be your number one fan. They're going to be behind what you're building. And that's another thing that I would owe our success to. And the third thing is our amazing partners. We have been lucky enough to get support from different organizations that support innovations that bring about social impact and development in people's welfare. So this has been a really, really good boost to us in terms of investment, in terms of just that amount of early capital to help you move through the early days. Yeah. We have seen a lot of people say, I can start because I don't have capital. With FixChap, we started off by the concept called bootstrapping. Bootstrapping is using what you have to take you where you want. what we did as a team is all of us leveraged on our savings, the little amount we had as savings, and put it on the table and built whatever was enough to build, so that we can gain insights from the market. That's exactly how we built, and our startup capital was around $2,000, or so to speak, 4 million. That's what we used to build our initial product. People might argue, why is it so small? It's small because we were able to gather different talent in our team. You know, you can actually partner with a talent or hire a talent. So we went for the option of partnering with a talent. When you have people working with your vision, they are just okay with getting just some kind of stipend to make sure that the end goal is reached. So instead of hiring talent, which is quite expensive, we opted to partner with talent, and that's how we came about to kick off. And that's what we leverage on as capital. And through the business process, then we got in some partners who gave us some grants, and that's how we came through until now, where we are also generating revenue ourselves. So far, how I can put it is that we are okay financially as we speak. We have a runway. A runway is basically like how long we can sustain ourselves even without revenues. So we are able to, we have the capital to operate for 1.5 years even without sales. That's how grateful and how lucky we are to have raised some amount of money that will basically help us to have a runway of about 1.5 years. And one thing that is really key to this concept is that companies and startups need to really be lean, or really be keen on how they use their money, how they should monitor their expenses, so to speak. You know, when you're an early day company, every cent counts. You know, so it doesn't make sense to start, you know, having huge budgets and having huge salaries when even the key primary focus, which is the product, isn't generating the income. You know, so what we have done, we pushed to the primary focus, which is the product, and investing now around the product and marketing, so that we can generate enough revenue to now boost other departments, including the team and so forth. You know, the business process that we are talking about is basically, this is how it works. When you send in a request, the system, through our unique algorithm, or a command of search, that's what we call an algorithm, it searches on two things. It searches for locality or location and rating. So when you send in a request, let's say from Mikocheni, it will search for fixers who are registered in Mikocheni, and it will check for the rating levels of them to choose the priority of which fixer to send in first. So in that process, you will be matched with the handyman or fixer. So when you are matched with the fixer, you would see their ID number, the picture, and their phone number, so you can connect. So when they arrive at your place, they do the assessment according to the date and time that you set. When they do the assessment, they will prepare a quotation through the application. So when you get a quote, they will also explain to you the problem and why it is that much, so that you have the clarity and understanding if there is any materials need to be bought or anything. So after agreement, when you agree or you accept the quotation, the work starts. Then when they complete the work, they also complete it on the app, and then you can make payments. At the moment, we only accept mobile payments because of the ongoing pandemic issue, just to keep both the fixers and the customers safe. But after, when you also make the payments, that's when we ask you for ratings and comments. And that is where my point is, like, how do we collect the comments? So when we collect the comments through the completion of the service, each rating affects the overall rating of the fixer, and each comment comes to our system. So at the moment, we have been having really good positive comments. People have been commenting things such as, the platform has been helping them to manage their time efficiently, because now they don't have to, waste time looking for a referral fixer. Others have been, recommending it, or like commenting about the good pricing structure, because when you're dealing with the informal market, what happens is that the fixer will charge you the price based on how fancy you look. So with the platform, there is a bit of protection, like you have the prior information of how much it's going to be. So a lot of people have been found this feature very relevant in terms of sort of like guarding them or giving them knowledge of exactly how much they can expect to spend on that particular thing. Other comments have been around the ease and convenience factor around it. Like in Dar, a lot of people are more of the working class. So most times you don't have that time to manage someone at your home. But through the application, when you're in the office, actually people in the office, they will just, when you're leaving home and you're told maybe you need a plumber, right when you're in the office, you'll just request for a plumber at your home. Maybe you have somebody there, they will check over the fixer, make sure they do the assessment. You will get your quotation in the office, accept it, the work is done, you can confirm with anybody at home, and payments are done. So that convenience factor has really been key, and actually up to 75% of our customers are actually working class. People who do not really have that time to be with the fixer at home, but then there is such an urgent issue to fix at home. So right now, our revenue model is commission-based. When each task is complete, payments are made to our escrow account. So before remitting to the fixers, there is a percent we take that is based on the contract we have with the fixers. That varies from 20 to 25%. So in the early days, we had the same debate on starting off in 2018. What we did first, we went to the vocational training institutions such as VETA, DAT, Don Bosco, and the like, who actually are training youth to become these skilled artisans or fixers. So when we went there, we got access to the sort of like they call it the alumni network, or the graduates who have finished vocational trainings. So these were the first people to be onboarded on the platform. And then, since from the get-go, what has been happening is that first, the first fixers who joined have been, sort of like the ambassadors. That when the fellows see them, getting busy, they share with them, hey, there is a new thing in town called FixChap. So through the existing handymen, they bring their friends and friends of friends. Secondly, the partnership with these colleges is also sort of like we work in close relationship with them, so we access a pool of fixers from there as well. And thirdly, we also take recommendation on our app. There is a place where a customer can recommend a fixer. Before our solution, we have to understand that people already had ways to solve their problem. Doesn't matter how hard it was, but they had ways to solve the problem. So somebody out there who is your customer had one or two fixers who were decent. So we're giving them a chance to recommend them, and then they will go through our vetting process. When they qualify, they also join on board. So these are the key three ways that, and basically the fourth way that we also use is that through our social media outreach and awareness, some fixers also see us in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and they request to join in. So these are the basic four ways that we use to source these fixers or handymen. We foresee ourselves expanding, and one thing that we have learned about our solution is that this solution is built essentially for vibrant cities. What do I mean by vibrant cities? I mean cities which are densely populated, and cities which people are more likely busy. So yes, we have plans, and our plan is to first kickstart in Dar, stabilize our business, and then go to other vibrant cities such as Mwanza, Dodoma, Kilimanjaro, Mbeya, and the likes, which actually have the same characteristics as Dar es Salaam. So at the moment, we are operational in the restaurant. We have 12 services on board, as you can see on the platform how it looks. And what we did on curating these 12 services, as I mentioned earlier, when we started with the website, we started off with 5 services that we thought people needed. So based on what people were asking for, that's how we grew to 12 services. And we've been operating with 12 services since 2019 January, and right now we're on the verge of also adding more 7 services, which we have seen that people have been requesting. You know, when a customer comes in on your app, let's say they want a washing machine fixer. At the moment, we don't have that. So there is a place where they actually can call us and tell us about what they want. So through this data that we gather, we use this type of information to make a decision on what other service we need to add. So in the next few weeks before December, we're going to update our application with more 7 services, key of them being gas cooker repairs. These have been issues, people are facing issues with this, washing machine, electric cookers, electronics, devices such as TV, blenders, microwaves, so to speak. So these are just some of the services which are about to be added on the platform. One thing I know, nothing is unique in the world. You can only differentiate yourself. Yes, there are initiatives in there trying to do what we are also doing, but it's not exactly as what we're doing, because we're trying as much as to differentiate ourselves in the market, so as customers can see exactly how special and unique our offering is. You know, I would say the most biggest competition is the traditional way that people use to source these fixes. You know, people have the concept called fundi wangu, or I have my fundi, and I believe everybody has a couple of numbers of fixers or fundis in their mobile phone. So this is the biggest competition to innovations such as FixChap. Like, how do you get customers move from that concept of my fundi or mina fundi wangu to start now adopting solutions like FixChap? And one of the things that we are working on the next update is that we understood that it's different. The way fixing and repairing works is different from how maybe you would need a transport, you know, where you would just be okay to just get a random driver who is registered and get from point A to point B, and you wouldn't mind to get another driver. But what we have understood in fixing, people sometimes build connection with the fixers. When you are serviced with Prince and you love his service, the next time, because of the privacy and the welfare of the service, you would most likely want Prince to come. So initially, our app didn't have the feature to call back the same fixer. Like, you got Prince, he serviced you, but when you request for a service, you wouldn't be sure to get Prince unless he was also free and happens to be around the location. So what we're working on right now is an update which gives you a room to call back your recent fixer. What will happen here is that most likely this is going to compete with what we call that habit of fundi wangu, or saving fundi's number in the phone. Before even starting this initiative, I used to have fundi's number in the phone and I would forget even their names. So I would run and be like, what's his name? I don't even remember. But with such kind of an update and solution, what is going to happen? You don't have to save their number anymore, because when you request for them, if they service you, their profile is attached to yours. The next time you want to call an electrician, we will give you the recent ones, and then you will remember, yes, this is the one I want, without having to save their number, without having to remember their name. So this is another initiative or update that we are adding so that we can increase the adoption of our technology, of our innovation in the market. FixChap is getting started. And exclusively, I'm going to let our customers and people know of a new product that's coming up with FixChap right from this interview for the first time. Basically, FixChap up to date is still doing repairs and maintenance on the 12 services I mentioned, and we're going to add more services. But now there's an exciting new product or innovation within FixChap that is coming up, and that is we're going to call it a marketplace, or a FixChap marketplace. What do I mean by the marketplace? This is a marketplace, or we can call it in Swahili soko, where people can sell and buy their refurbished or used items. Why did we decide, or what happened that we are also building an extension to FixChap? When we were fixing things at people's homes, people traditionally, when they want to sell off things that have been used, or when they want to buy things that have been used, they ask fundis. When you need a table to sell or to buy, you'll be like, Fundi Juma, can you make use of this? Can you give me a new table? So when FixChap was coming in people's homes, they were calling to us and asking us, I need I use this, can you find a way to give me? I need to sell off my dining table. Can you guys buy it and make use of it? So these requests have been a lot of them, and then we sat down as a team and saw a very, very close contact or correlation with what we're doing. We have fixers. Fixers can verify these used items. They can certify them, so to speak. And the same fixers, such as carpenters, also have their own things they're building, or they're making, such as beds, such as sofas. They could also leverage on the marketplace to sell these things. So we're doing two things that go with the marketplace. One, we are helping you declutter your home, or to release things you need in your home. And also we are giving more opportunities to these fixers to actually upsell their items or their skill sets. And at the other end, somebody who needs to kick off their life or just needs to get something, an item at a good gig, can also use the marketplace. So the marketplace is going to be part of FixChap. It's going to be a platform to buy and sell used items. I know there are ways we do right now that we use to get this. Of course, there's social media pages like Facebook, Instagram. We have other apps that are classifieds apps that basically allow you to advertise your item. But when we were doing our research, a key thing or a key gap, we noted a key gap in the market, that is trust. When you want to sell your item or you want to buy, it's very difficult to trust either of yourself or even the product. If you're buying from Instagram, if you're buying from Facebook, or even worse enough from any other page on the web, you're very skeptical. Like, would it be okay? What if the phone was stolen? What if this is a con man? Both sides. Even if you're selling a genuine item, you'd be very, very skeptical. What we have done, we are building a platform benchmark on trust. Our business model that I cannot say now, but people should be ready on December. It will be live. It will be leveraged entirely on trust and security. When you're selling your item, your number won't go. You won't get calls from anonymous people like the way you would broadcast your item in any other classified site. You wouldn't get bothers of people coming to your home, checking the item. Sometimes it's even not genuine people, And to make it even easier for people who are trying to buy stuff, when you're trying to buy a used item right now, it is very difficult. But then through the marketplace, it will be very convenient to actually search by category or by type of thing you want. And one of the major reasons you might ask, why are we building the marketplace? Yes, people have been asking about it. Another reason that is very critical that we need to understand is that this year hasn't been like any other. This year has been, to me, the most difficult if you are an entrepreneur or a business, because I would say the world has been disrupted. The world economy has been disrupted. Why? Because of the pandemic. We had to stay home. People lost their jobs. Even the spending pattern declined. So to us as a business as well, this is an opportunity to add a revenue stream, to add a new way to actually get more income. Because how has the pandemic affected FixChap, you might ask? The pandemic has affected FixChap because people's disposable income has declined. And what we have seen is a change from renovation, large renovations and fixing, which were like large ticket size of like maybe 100,000, 200,000, to what now people are trying to do is to budget their income so that they can see the next day. People are now doing quick fixes, so 30,000, 50,000, anything more or higher than that, they'll be like, no, I am not ready for that. Why? Because now people are focused on essentials. People are focused on saving because everything has been disrupted. So as a business, this is another way to help people who are looking to sell their items, maybe to earn a couple of bucks, extra income, and people who are looking to establish themselves, start at home. And they most likely would leverage on these kind of markets, which are very common in our context. So this is the why, the major why to why we are also building this extension. Another feedback that we've been getting on fixers or fundis is actually the impact that FixChap has had on their front. And basically what FixChap has benefited these fundis or fixers is that it has first of all give them access to markets. As first time fixers who are trying to establish themselves in the markets, it was quite difficult to get customers, but through the platform they actually get jobs and get incomes to sustain their family. And actually in our most recent research, we saw that every fixer has about 4 dependents behind them. So with us having 280 fixers or handymen, you can do the math and see we are actually impacting or sustaining more than 1,000 people who are actually touched by what we are doing. Another thing that we are also impacting with fixers or handymen is that we're giving them an opportunity to have financial inclusion and their benefits, such as the ongoing benefits such as track record of their work or jobs, and also access to social security savings and health insurance. How does this come about? Because when their payments come through, a certain percent of that goes to their social security, where when you're keeping your social security payments with such organization, they also give you the health insurance cover. So all these initiatives are together linked to impact positively handymen or fixers, and they see the benefits of actually working with FixChap. And the last thing that we do is we help them to package themselves as people, as fixers. Most of you who have finished these trainings of vocational training, they know how to do the work that is fixing, but they don't know how to package themselves. They don't know how to present themselves to their prospective clients. So what we do, we give them the customer service skills and etiquette skills, and also we help them with soft skills such as language skills and other skills such as pricing model that can help them to sort of like add value to their skill sets. And this is what or how we have impacted these fixers or handymen or even funders.